What's going on, everybody? This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and yesterday, Giants fans were riding high last week, and yesterday, just a dose of reality that smashed us back in the face. We played against a better team. We got out-coached by a better team. We did not play like a team that looked ready to play. Plain and simple. We were pretty much dominated on every single phase of the game. Whether it was the run defense, the pass defense, the running game, the passing game, the offensive line, the defensive line, the head coach, the coordinators, the quarterback, the running back, the wide receivers, tight ends, defensive linemen, outside linebackers, inside linebackers, safeties, cornerbacks, kicker, punter, punt coverage, kick coverage, whatever the hell you want to say. The Philadelphia Eagles absolutely took us behind the woodshed and put us out of our misery. That's exactly what they did yesterday. They dominated us. And this was a dose of reality for myself and other Giants fans thinking that this team was ready to compete with the big boys. And be real, they were not. They weren't. Obviously, everybody's going to talk about that 4th and 8 play when the Giants were down by 7-0 immediately. The Eagles drove down on that first drive, and they pretty much punched the ball in. Giants had their opportunities with 4th down and 8, and they went for it, and they ended up not even converting it. They got sacked. Back-to-back plays. There's a lot more than just that play and the reason why this team lost. Wink Martindale didn't make enough adjustments on the defensive end when Philadelphia was clear as day destroying us up the middle in the run game. Mike Kafka did not call one of his best offensive games. Brian Daboll, in the second half, coached not to lose. So, Daniel Jones, after we were lauding him last week, he played horrible this week. I mean, he only had 135 yards passing and no touchdowns and a pick. That was on Slayton. Saquon Barkley, take out that 39-yard run. I know you can't take away a play, but you take out that 39-yard run. Barkley did virtually nothing. I mean, the receivers, nobody in the receiving game did anything. And the defense, they got absolutely destroyed and gashed up the middle. The Giants pretty much got a dose of reality yesterday. They did. They got a dose of reality by just a team that is a hell of a lot better than they are. Plain and simple. Just a team that is a hell of a lot better. But this is a learning experience. The Giants, I don't give a crap who you are. The Giants were not expected to be in this position. And this team overachieved in their first year. And I'm proud of this football team. I am very, very, very proud of this football team. Even after yesterday's defeat. And it is a bitter pill to swallow. Because we lost to a team that us Giants fans do not like. Us Giants fans are tired of losing to. Us Giants fans are tired of getting smacked around by our divisional rivals. But at the same time, this is a learning experience. And now, we're going into the offseason with a lot of questions about these players. This is going to be a much different team when 2023 NFL season starts. You got a lot of decisions to make. Key free agents like Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, Julian Love, Sterling Shepard, Nick Gates. Probably a lot of guys that won't be here. They're might get cut. Remember, Joe Shane, Brian Daboll, and this coaching staff and front office were playing with a lot of Dave Gettleman's players. because they couldn't get out of this cap hell. The Giants are going to be in a lot better cap shape. They have 11 draft picks, and they're going to have a lot more money to use. And I guarantee you're going to start seeing some of these Dave Gettleman guys trickling out of this organization. And you're going to start seeing some of Joe Shane and Brian Daboll's guys coming in. There's a lot of players that did not play well last night. Jalen Smith, I don't give a crap if he led the game with 14 tackles. He was horrendous last night. He couldn't stop a nosebleed. I've been praising this dude all season, Julian Love. He had a horrible game last night. He couldn't tackle. He couldn't cover. He couldn't do anything right. Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, they were virtually invisible. They were eaten up by that Eagles offensive line. And speaking of offensive lines, the Giants' offensive line was horrendous. The Eagles' pass rush did whatever the hell they wanted. Whatever they wanted. Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, and Josh Sweat all had a sack or more last night. That Eagles' pass rush is as good as I thought it would be. It's phenomenal. And one of the biggest problems with the Giants is they lack depth on that defensive line. And also they lacked capable linebackers. The secondary I thought didn't do as horrendous, but at the same time Philadelphia didn't need to pass the ball because our run defense was pathetic. Our run defense gave up 268 yards rushing. The biggest bugaboo for this team reared its ugly head again. The Eagles had two guys that ran for 90-plus yards. And all three of their running backs scored a touchdown. There's a lot on this team I wish I could change right now. And we're going to see changes. Now, I don't know what Joe Shane has up his sleeve in terms of the draft. And I'm going to start looking at some draft prospects that are going to be coming out. Since we are going to be hitting draft season now. Remember, the NFL draft is coming probably within about next 3-4 months. This wide receiver core needs to be... They need to have a dynamite stick put right near them and detonate it. And just eliminate all these guys. Or a good amount of them. And get ready for next year. Darius Slayton. Thanks for the past 4 years. But we're not bringing you back. Richie James. You had some nice plays here or there. But you just distinguish yourself as a backup. We can move on from him. Marcus Johnson, adios. Sterling Shepard, I love you, bro. You're an awesome player. Thank you for all you've done for this organization. But you might have to go too. We need a tight end as well. Daniel Bellinger, I think, is a good young player. But I think we need a real, legit, solid threat on the outside. And Cager, he's okay. And we talked about this last night on Mac the Giants fans' True Blue Aftermath. Somebody's got to take Evan Neal. And they've got to work with this kid in the offseason. Because he didn't get better. He got worse during the end of the season. His confidence looks shot. Somebody take this kid and work on his technique. Work on his footwork. Get this kid in a better position to block. Because he was horrendous. The interior of the offensive line, for all I could say... I don't care what they did. They can reshuffle that entire interior offensive line. Between John Feliciano, who I would let him go. Glowinski we're tied up with, so he's not going anywhere, unfortunately. We got him at least for another year. I thought Bredesen played well for the most part, but maybe they're going to decide to just make him a rotational guy. Same thing with... I don't know what to expect from Joshua Zudu and Marcus McKeithen. You're putting a lot on these two kids who... McKeithen didn't even play a game in the regular season after he tore his ACL. It's putting a lot on the kid to come back in his second year off an ACL injury. Ditto for Zudu, who pretty much was injured the entire season with a neck injury. I mean, the linebacking core is just not good. McFadden, He's a good young player, but probably a rotational player at best. Beavers didn't play a damn down all season. Don't even know what to expect from him. Jalen Smith can go. Collins, how you feel about it? If he can go, that's fine. The Giants just need talent. Plain and simple. We need talent. We were a nice story who were incredibly well coached. But the fact of the matter is this team is just a sieve when it comes to talent. We're not that talented of a football team. So, obviously, the biggest decisions in the offseason is going to be what do you do with Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Julian Love, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Nick Gates, Kenny Golladay, Leo Williams. You know, all these big players that you're going to have to decide if you're going to cut, restructure, sign, let go, etc. But one thing the Giants need to do is we need to add depth on the offensive and defensive line. I thought two of the biggest injuries that hurt this team was DJ Davidson and Nick Williams. We talked about that on the True Blue Aftermath too. DJ Davidson, who was playing well for a sixth-round rookie, and Nick Williams, who was good depth in the defensive line. When they got hurt and lost for the season, that hurt our defensive line depth because we had nobody else that could help out behind Dex and Leo. Our secondary cornerback position was not good. Was not good. Moreau had a nice season, but we need to upgrade. And I don't trust Aaron Robinson to go out there and be the number 2 cornerback after he's had 2 injury-riddled and pedestrian years. Adoree Jackson, he was solid. McKinney, he was definitely missed. I didn't think he played that great yesterday, but he was not bad. Like I said, Julian Love played like garbage, but he had a very good season. Darnay Holmes, I think the Giants should upgrade on him. It could be Flott. The wide receiver core needs to be absolutely detonated and replenished. Big time. I would try to see if we can get a dynamic tight end in this team. Fix the interior offensive line at both guard positions and center, unless you have faith that Azudu and McKeithen are the answers, or at least could compete to be the answers. Get yourself a real center. Get some defensive line help. Get some capable linebackers. Get 2 legit threats on the outside at wide receiver. Not 1, 2. I don't care how you do it. Get some legit threats at wide receiver. And then decide what you're going to do with Barkley and Jones. How much money are you going to give these guys? Are you going to definitely franchise Barkley? Are you going to re-sign Daniel Jones? Are you going to re-sign Julian Love? Darius Slayton? Who? Giants are going to have a lot of decisions to make this offseason. And case in point, I'm not mad with the Giants. I'm just disappointed because of the way we went out. I'm proud of this team, but I'm disappointed because of the way we went out of the playoffs. It's a very, very bitter pill to swallow for a team that is definitely on the rise. Definitely look like they're going to be well coached, but this was a humbling experience. And myself, Giants fans, we had a nice big piece of humble pie last night because we deserve it. So, like I said, I'm proud of this football team. 10 wins, 1 including the playoffs. A 10-win team for a team that nobody expected to be this good. To me, that shows progression compared to where we've been the past decade. And now, we get to see Joe Shane, Brandon Brown, Brian Daboll, and this team actually put work onto their ultimate plan. Because I think it was delayed by at least a year because of salary cap restraints and players they couldn't get out of their contracts. Now, I believe that Joe Shane and Brandon Brown's plan will be unfolded this offseason, or start to be unfolded. And they're going to start bringing in their guys. We said last year was the biggest offseason in Giants history. No, it's this one. This offseason is the biggest offseason in Giants history. You're going to have a lot of money to spend. You're going to have a lot of draft picks, 11. Have to wonder if there's going to be 11 when we get to the draft. But this Giants team really made very good strides. It's now just about who on this team can you honestly say is going to be here for the long term? Who are building blocks on this team? Who are guys you can let go? And what is the true outlook for this team in the future? At this point, I said it at the beginning. I said it all off season, and I said it at the beginning of the season. There's a lot of guys on this team I like. But at the same time, I'm about winning. And if whoever is on this team, if Daniel Jones is not in their plans and they want to move on, so be it. If Saquon Barkley is not in their plans and they want to move on, so be it. Xavier McKinney, same thing, so be it. Julian Love, same thing, so be it. Leonard Williams, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Jalen Smith, Darnay Holmes, Fabian Moreau, Dexter Lawrence even. I'm fine with whatever direction they go with this team. Because I want to win. We got a little bit of a taste of winning again. And I want more. And we're going to go into this offseason looking to improve a lot of the weaknesses on this team, because there is a lot that got exposed against a very good team like the Eagles. And they're going to do their best to fix up this football team getting ready for next week. Or next year. I'm really curious to see the direction that this team goes in the offseason to fix this team up and get them ready for 2023. I'm expecting anything at this point. Nothing would surprise me with this Giants team. Nothing. So, I mean, today, yeah, last night was a bitter pill to swallow, Giants fans. But at the same time, this is just the beginning. This was year one of our rebuild. Next year is year two. That is when you start making steps in the right direction. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of these players on this team that will not be here next year. The Gettleman players will shuffle their way out, a good amount of them, and the Shane players will start coming in. And I think this team is going to be in a lot better position in 2023 than they even were this year in 2022. So I just wanted to make this video real quickly as my Giant Blue recap and a season recap. I might go live tomorrow during the day just to talk a little bit more about the season, reflect on the season, talk about some moves, potential moves the Giants might do in the offseason, what might happen with their coaching staff, because a lot of teams might be looking at the Giants coaching staff to see if they can sign some guys. What might happen with Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and some of the other key players on this team. And what the outlook could be going into the free agency, the NFL draft, and the 2023 NFL season. So, congratulations, Philadelphia Eagles. You guys were the much better team. You guys deserve to win. And as much as I can't stand your team, good luck to you guys. And Giants, be goddamn proud of your team. Be proud of your football team today. Because we were not expected to be in this position. And we went out there and had a hell of a season. Now it's time to get ready for the offseason and figure out what we need to do to build this team and get them stronger. So, I just want to come on, say that real quickly in my Giant Blue recap. You're not going to get numbers. Not going to get a whole lot of numbers. You're just going to get the Giant fan right now and how I'm feeling. But I'm not pissed off at this team. There was really very few times I was very angry with this team. I'm proud of this team. And I'm really excited on what this team has in terms of the future. Whether it's draft picks, players returning from injury, young players developing. key pieces that you're going to keep building upon. That's what I'm looking forward to with this Giants team. And now, the real work begins in the offseason. Mock drafts, free agent ideas, prospects, combine, NFL draft, NFL free agency, it's coming. So, I hope everybody has a great rest of your Sunday. Take it easy, and as always, let's go New York Football Giants. And say it loud, say it proud, even after a bitter defeat. Together Blue, everyone.